No single company or government can finance all the AI infrastructure or energy needs. Our capital markets in Europe are fragmented. Getting to cleaner energy is a dial and not a switch.
Hello, I'm Angeli Barnes and welcome to this episode of The Big Question from Davos in Switzerland. Well, on The Big Question, we speak to some of the most influential people in the world of business. And today I'm joined by Francesco Ceccato, the CEO of Barclays Europe. Francesco, it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Pleasure to be here with you.
Thank you very much. So, what a lot to talk about. But first of all, from your conversations that you've been having and what you've been seeing, what are the most significant economic trends or risks this year, and how do you see them impacting the European financial sector?
So the theme this year at Davos is collaboration in a digital age, and clearly what that aims to get behind is how can we harness the power of technology to ultimately reignite growth without ultimately having an inflationary problem that comes back. And AI, in our view, is going to be something that we need to embrace, but it comes with a lot of different follow-on components, including needing a lot of energy. And so energy provision and energy security is an important theme here as well.
I want to talk to you about Barclays AI report, which has just been released.
Yeah.
Can you just summarise for me some of the key findings in that report?
Yes. So I think it's important to tie it together with the report that we published roughly this time last year, which was about the impact that AI can have to boost productivity, in particular support aging populations who are perhaps becoming less productive, and to aid them in ultimately creating better economic outcomes. This year, what we're focused on is how do you actually think about the energy needs of the AI investment that we're going to have to make? Because no single company or government can finance all the AI infrastructure or energy needs. We need to see large investment in energy to support the AI infrastructure. Why is that? Because every application of AI requires lots of computing power. The latest Colossus AI supercomputer that Elon Musk is investing in has 200,000 GPUs. That requires a huge amount of energy. And we are seeing more and more GPUs added as the use cases and the applications of AI become more and more sophisticated and wide-ranging. And what the report says is that energy demands are going to go up massively between now and 2030, and we see the potential for real infrastructure investment needed. I mean, just to give you one metric, the IEA is projecting that 1,000 terawatts hour are going to be needed for all the data centers in the world. And of course, it's data centers that can perform these AI calculations. And therefore, our view is that we need to understand that energy infrastructure is critical to supporting the AI, which, tying it back to last year's report, is critical to productivity.
Francesco, there is a lot to take in there, but do you think Europe is prepared for that, or is it a case of it's now getting prepared for the enormity of what's needed to invest in this AI infrastructure?
I think it's important that we prepare for it. AI is one way, one technology that can help us and resolve some of our problems, but it needs investment, and it can't all be coming from governments because they're fiscally constrained in many cases. It can come from the capital markets, but our capital markets in Europe are fragmented, and therefore we need to reform them, and we need to do that quickly. And this is something that President von der Leyen talked about. It needs to happen with less red tape and with more, if you like, straight-through processing of the type of project that can bring real economic advantage.
I just wanted to ask you about sustainability and digital transformation. How do you envision these influencing Barclays' strategy for Europe when it comes to sustainability and digital transformation?
So I think with sustainability, our strategy revolves around the transition. And what's important is to recognize that getting to cleaner energy is a dial and not a switch. And that means that we have to keep supporting our clients who are wanting to transition, and we can support them with advice, with financing, and with facilitation of financing through the capital markets. So that's the first piece. The second piece is to know that from our perspective, our target of 1 trillion of sustainable and transition finance by 2030 is still something that we, as Barclays Europe, want to continue to contribute very meaningfully to, and that's what we have been doing. And the third component of our strategy is to continue to support companies at the early stage in the clean tech business that can continue to drive technological change that can help the energy transition itself. Those would include, for example, our investment into a company that does solar energy, but not through typical solar cells, but through solar tubes. We are invested in an insulation company. We are invested in a green hydrogen company. And these are all examples of that specific strategy to invest the group's balance sheet to ultimately support the transition.
And Francesco, more widely, what role do you see European banks playing in addressing global challenges like climate change and digital innovation?
Just on the climate change side, many banks have analogous strategies to ours. So I think we've covered that to some extent. With digital innovation and digitalization, I think it's important to realize that in Europe, our digital infrastructure needs modernization. Once it's been modernized to really be contributing to the economy, it needs power, it needs energy, and we'll come to that in a moment. But again, our objective here is to be a supportive partner for not just companies, but also governments or indeed individuals to have the right advice to be able to navigate these changes and to be able to draw the financing. It may be from our balance sheet, it may be from the capital markets. We can facilitate that, and always to give the best advice we can.
Brilliant. Francesco, thank you very much for all of your insights. It's great to have you on The Big Question, and thank you very much all for watching this episode of the show from Davos in Switzerland. Don't forget, you can catch all our shows on the Euronews YouTube channel, and you can also go to the Euronews website, the business section, and catch all our Big Question episodes there. Thank you very much.